I've had the opportunity to work and manage both covert and commercial cover assignments. I have found that commercial cover can be extremely effective in government use as well as in the private sector. I've used covert cover in the private sector, particularly when we needed to determine if illegal activities were going on in our client's workforce. In my international work, I have found that commercial cover provided me deep political information while working a commercial activity, such as determining if a company was suitable for our client's involvement in investing or setting up operations in the country. An effective commercial cover requires the operator to have a company history that can stand a deep background check. Setting up a new LLC as a consulting company can be easily exposed. Following is some of the things I have learned over the last 50 years. A cover legend is not a window dressing. It determines who can enter an environment, what questions can be asked, how long an operation can last, and what happens if scrutiny begins. When clients ask, what is the difference in covert and commercial cover in intelligence gathering, they are usually asking a more practical question. Which method produces reliable access without creating unnecessary legal, operational, or reputational risk? The short answer is this. Covert cover is built to conceal the true purpose, affiliation, or identity of the person collecting information. Commercial cover uses a legitimate business role or business pretext to explain the presence, contact, travel, meetings, and inquiry. Both can be lawful or unlawful depending on the jurisdiction, the methods used, and the purpose of the assignment. Both can also fail if the operator, sponsor, or client uses the wrong approach for the environment. Well, what is the difference in covert and commercial cover in intelligence gathering? The difference starts with visibility and plausibility. Covert cover is meant to mask the real mission. The person gathering intelligence may appear to be a researcher, contractor, journalist, consultant, or a private citizen while pursuing a separate objective. The strength of covert cover lies in obscurity. If it works, the target does not recognize that collection is taking place. Commercial cover is narrower and often more defensible. The collector operates under a business identity that provides a credible reason to be in the market, attend events, conduct meetings, review supply chains, access counterparties, or ask commercial questions. The key distinction is that the business role itself becomes the access platform. In many cases, the business activity is real, even if it is not the reason the person is present. The difference matters because stress, scrutiny, and exposure unfold differently in each model. A covert role may allow discrete observation where direct business engagement would raise concerns. A commercial role may support repeated meetings, document review, and market entry conversations that a purely covert role would never sustain. Covert cover is built around concealment. In intelligence terms, covert cover protects the true sponsor or objective of detection. It is designed for environments where direct affiliation with closed doors, trigger defensive behaviors, or place the collector at risk. In hostile or sensitive settings, that can be the only realistic route to obtain ground truth. but covert does not mean theatrical. Effective covert cover depends on consistency, background, travel pattern, online presence, language ability, financial behavior, and local knowledge all have to align. The more complex the legend, the more points of failure it contains. This is where many outsiders misunderstand the trade off. Covert cover can create short term access, but it also creates heavier demands on operational disciplines. If challenged, the collector may have fewer legitimate records, fewer overt relationships, and less room to explain anomalies. Once doubt appears, the cover can collapse quickly. For private sector work, covert methods also require strict legal and ethical boundaries. A lawful investigation or due diligence assignment is not a blank check for impersonation, fraud, trespass, or unlawful surveillance. The environment, client objective, and governing law dictate what is permissible. Well, commercial cover relies on legitimate business presence. Commercial cover is often better understood as business based access. A person may operate as an investor representative, marketing analyst, regional consultant, supplier, security advisor, logistics specialist, or due diligence professional. The cover works because business people routinely travel, ask questions, evaluate partners, and seek information before making decisions. In many assignments, commercial cover is more sustainable than covert cover. It gives the operator a reason to maintain regular contact, request meetings, observe business processes, and build a relationship over time. In cross border inquiries, it can also support documentation, invoices, travel records, and introductions that look normal because they are normal. That said, commercial cover is not automatically safer. A business identity invites its own scrutiny. Sophisticated counterparties may verify company registration, transactions history, executive profiles, government pattern, procedural patterns, and digital footprint. If the commercial platform is weak or artificial, the target may spot it quickly. The strongest commercial cover is rooted in a real commercial rationale. It is especially effective in due diligence, source inquiries, supply chain checks, market validations, counterparty vetting, and pre transactional intelligence work where legitimate business engagement is expected. When covert cover makes sense and when it does not, covert cover tends to fit assignments where open inquiry would contaminate the subject's behavior or end access entirely. Examples may include discrete threat assessments, hostile environment fact finding, pattern of life observations, or early stage verification where disclosure would create flight, concealment, or retaliation. Even then, it is not always the preferred option. If the objective can be achieved through lawful record searches, structured interviews, overt site visits, commercial inquiry, or protective intelligence methods, these routes are often more durable and easier to defend. For institutional clients, there's another factor downstream use. Intelligence may support legal action, board level decisions, security planning, or government coordinations must withstand scrutiny. The method that produces information but damages admissibility, credibility, or reputation can cost more than it delivers. Well, what does commercial cover do better? Commercial cover usually performs better when the assignment requires repeat contact and a reason to keep returning. It is particularly useful when the target environment expects vendors, investors, consultants, buyers, or advisors to peer and ask detailed questions. That makes it effective for corporate due diligence, market entry risk reviews, distributor validations, sanctions, adjacent concerns, screening, executive exposure analysis, and background development around counterparties who maintain a business facing presence. The collector is not hidden in the shadows. The collector is presenting a credible business purpose that supports information flow. That purpose can reduce friction, but it also imposes discipline. The business identity must be supportable. The conversation must stay within lawful bounds. The operational team must know when to push, when to pause, and when direct inquiry would create records or reaction the client does not want. The real issue is risk management, not vocabulary. Clients sometimes treat covert and commercial cover as if they are two simple labels for the same fieldcraft. They are not. The method chosen affects exposure in four directions at once: legal risk, personal safety risk, reputational risk, and intelligence quality. The covert approach may reduce the chance that a subject recognizes collection, but it can increase operational sensitivity if challenged. A commercial approach may lower legal and reputational risk when built on legitimate activity, but it can alert a subject that interest exists. Neither option is universally superior. Experienced operators look first at mission requirements. Is the assignment about validation, access, observations, influence resistance, or long-term placement? Does the environment tolerate outside inquiry? Are local services active? Is the target litigious, security conscious, politically connected, or violence prone? These factors matter more than the label attached to the. Well, what is the difference in covert and commercial cover in practice? In practice, the difference often comes down to what happens when someone asks a simple question: why are you here? Under covert cover, the answer is designed to conceal the true intelligence objective. Under commercial cover, the answer is tied to a business role that can be reasonably explained: meetings, travel questions, and documentation. One approach depends more heavily on hidden purpose, depends more heavily on legitimate business plausibility. That is why commercial cover is often the preferred option in private investigative and security consulting. It can be cleaner, more sustainable, and more compatible with due diligence, risk advisory, and executive decision support. Overt cover still has a place, but it belongs in tightly controlled assignments where the benefit clearly justifies the operational burden. At West Coast Detectives International, this distinction is not academic. High stakes client need election strategies that match the terrain, the law, and the consequences of exposure. Choosing the wrong cover can compromise the assignment before the first conversation begins. The better question is not which sounds more sophisticated. It is the approach which gives you lawful access, credible reporting, and a result your organization can actually use when the pressure is on. If you have any questions, please contact me at e.little@westcoastdetectives.us or use my cell at 818-262-1312. I welcome your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions. Have you had situations where you've used commercial cover or covert cover? Let me know what your experience has been and what you think about this whole area. Would you leave those comments on any of the platforms? Or you can email me at evittlepi777@gmail.com. Also, you can help me. Would you like, subscribe, share, and you know the drill. Hit that notification bell for future posts. And if you have any problems in your business or home or family that you ask Private Eye help me? Send me that information. pi777 at gmail.com, and I'll review it and get back to you. Stay safe until next time. May God bless you, your family, and may God bless America.